Why is India terrifying the West with its new economic power in 2025? The answer lies in a transformation so massive, it's rewriting the rules of global power. From a booming economy to digital sovereignty and bold geopolitical moves, India is no longer just a rising nation. It's a force the world cannot ignore. Stay with us as we uncover how India's rise is shaking the West to its core, and why this shift could define the future of the global order. India's economy in 2025 is not just expanding, it's redefining what a global growth story looks like. For decades, the world believed China was the only country capable of such transformation. But now, India is delivering a growth rate that averages 6–7% annually, even while the West struggles with stagnation and inflation. The scale is staggering. By 2025, India contributes nearly 15% of global GDP growth. It's no longer a supporting actor, it's a lead player on the world's economic stage, and the foundations of this boom are deep and diverse. Demographics: India's 1.4 billion people are not a burden, they are an engine. With millions entering the workforce each year, India provides what the West desperately lacks: young, skilled labor. While Europe and Japan grapple with aging populations, India's youthful energy fuels consumption, innovation, and production. Urbanization. Cities like Bengaluru, Hyderabad, and Pune are now recognized globally as innovation capitals. Meanwhile, second-tier cities like Indore, Surat, and Lucknow are rapidly transforming into industrial and tech hubs. This balanced urban growth ensures prosperity spreads beyond a few metro areas. Agriculture to industry shift. For centuries, India was seen as an agrarian economy, but in 2025 agriculture contributes less than 15% of GDP, while services and manufacturing dominate. Massive industrial corridors, new ports, and modernized logistics have turned India into one of the most efficient exporters in Asia. Consumption boom. The rise of a 400 million-strong middle class means India is not only producing for the world, it's consuming at levels that rival Europe. Western luxury brands, electric vehicles, and tech gadgets see India as their fastest-growing market. If India's economic boom is its engine, then technology is its fuel. By 2025, India has established itself as one of the most digitally advanced societies on Earth, and that's no exaggeration. Let's start with payments. The Unified Payments Interface, UPI, has become a model for the world. Every month it processes billions of transactions worth trillions of rupees. Street vendors, taxi drivers, even small farmers and villages, all accept digital payments instantly through QR codes. The West looks on in shock. While they're still tied to outdated banking systems, India has leapfrogged into a cashless future. Then comes AI and data sovereignty. India recognized early that data is the new oil. Instead of allowing Silicon Valley or Beijing to dominate its data economy, India created strict regulations ensuring that Indians' data stays in India. This data, combined with its massive population, gives Indian firms an advantage few others can match: scale. By 2025, India is running AI systems trained in 20+ local languages, making digital tools accessible to every citizen, not just English speakers. From AI tutors in rural schools to AI doctors diagnosing patients in remote clinics, technology isn't just creating profits, it's transforming lives. And India didn't stop there. Recognizing the dangers of relying on foreign technology, the country invested billions into semiconductors. With chip shortages crippling the West, India fast-tracked chip fabrication plants in Gujarat and Tamil Nadu. Today, India is emerging as a reliable supplier in the global semiconductor supply chain. Telecom independence. Instead of relying solely on Western or Chinese 5G, India developed its own indigenous 5G stack, making its network secure and resilient. Space-based internet. Through ISRO and private startups, India has launched dozens of satellites providing affordable internet access, even in rural and border regions. This independence, called digital sovereignty, is the West's nightmare. Why? Because for decades the West enjoyed control by dominating the internet, social media, and software industries. But now, India is saying, we will build our own. Another reason the West is uneasy: India's bold trade and energy moves. Instead of aligning fully with Western sanctions or trade wars, India has pursued a multipolar strategy, buying oil from Russia at discounted rates, while simultaneously deepening trade ties with the US and Europe. This balancing act is reshaping global markets. For example, India is one of the world's largest buyers of crude oil, and its refining industry now re-exports fuel to Europe, sometimes from Russian oil. It has become a hub for renewable energy investments leading in solar and green hydrogen production. Its partnerships in the global south are strengthening supply chains outside Western influence. By refusing to pick sides, India has gained leverage, becoming indispensable to both East and West. For decades, Western corporations dictated global business. But in 2025, Indian companies are stepping onto the world stage with unprecedented confidence. Reliance Industries has expanded into telecom, energy, and retail on a global scale. Infosys, Wipro, and TCS dominate IT outsourcing, but now also develop advanced AI and cybersecurity solutions. Adani and Tata groups are acquiring assets worldwide, from airports in Europe to infrastructure in Africa. This isn't just corporate expansion, it's a redistribution of economic power. For the first time, Western nations are seeing Indian companies competing directly with, and sometimes overtaking, their own giants. India's rise is not limited to economics, it's political too. In 2025, India has become a central player in global diplomacy. At the G20 summit, India successfully brokered agreements between rival nations. It has strengthened alliances through the Quad with the US, Japan, and Australia, while still maintaining ties with BRICS alongside China and Russia. India is using its growing clout to push for reforms in institutions like the United Nations and the World Bank, demanding more representation for the global south. What terrifies the West is India's ability to play both sides. It can cooperate with Washington on defense, partner with Moscow on energy, and trade with Beijing, without fully committing to any bloc. This new assertiveness makes India unpredictable, independent, and extremely powerful. Behind the economic rise lies a rapidly modernizing military. India is now the world's third-largest military spender, investing heavily in advanced systems. Indigenous fighter jets like the Tejas Mark II, nuclear submarines patrolling the Indian Ocean, ballistic missile defense systems rivaling those of the US and Russia. But perhaps most impressive is India's rise in space power. With missions to the Moon, Mars, and beyond, the Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO, has established India as a credible space contender. In 2025, India's satellite networks and space defense capabilities are integral to its digital sovereignty, making it one of the few nations capable of securing its interests both on Earth and in orbit. One area that continues to unsettle the West is India's tense relationship with Pakistan. In 2025, border skirmishes and political disputes remain unresolved, and the possibility of escalation always looms. With both nations being nuclear powers, the stakes are enormous. But here's the twist. India's growing economic and military dominance is shifting the balance in South Asia. Countries like Bangladesh, Nepal, and Sri Lanka are increasingly tied to India's economy, reducing Pakistan's regional leverage. For the West, this creates a dilemma. Supporting Pakistan risks alienating a rising global power, but ignoring it could destabilize a volatile region. Perhaps the most transformative aspect of India's rise is its leadership in the global south. While the West often overlooks Africa, Latin America, and Southeast Asia, India is building deep partnerships there, investing in infrastructure, providing digital tools, and offering affordable medicines and vaccines. This strategy is winning hearts and minds, positioning India as a champion of developing nations. In forums like BRICS Plus and the African Union, India has become a trusted voice, challenging Western dominance. For Western powers used to controlling the global narrative, India's leadership in this sphere is deeply unsettling. Economic and military power aside, India's soft power is also on the rise. Bollywood films, Indian music, yoga, cuisine, and even cricket are spreading globally. But it's not just culture, it's influence. Millions of Indians in the diaspora now hold key positions in Silicon Valley, academia, and politics across the West. This cultural bridge expands India's influence far beyond traditional diplomacy, making it not just a power of economics, but of identity and global culture. So, why is the West terrified? Because India's rise isn't just another growth story, it's a paradigm shift. For the first time in centuries, the global order is being reshaped by a democracy with deep civilizational roots, vast human capital, and unstoppable momentum. The West fears losing economic dominance as Indian companies rival their corporations, technological control as India builds independent digital ecosystems, geopolitical influence as India refuses to be anyone's junior partner. In 2025, India is no longer just a nation rising, it is a nation arrived. With its booming economy, digital sovereignty, geopolitical independence, and cultural influence, India is reshaping the global order in ways the West cannot control. And that is why India's new economic power terrifies the West. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because the story of India's rise is just beginning, and the world will never be the same again.